So this bio-decision process has 5 stages. The bio-decision process has 5 stages. So the first stage is need recognition. I'll go in details. Then, yes, recognizing something. Then there is information search. There is evaluation of alternatives. Information search. Then after that, there is evaluation of alternatives. Then there is the purchase decision. And the last stage is the post-purchase behavior. Post-purchase behavior. So there are 5 stages of the bio-decision process. So this is how individuals make choices of what to buy. That is the bio-decision process. So it has 5 stages. The first stage is need recognition. Need recognition. So in this stage, consumers feel the need for something. So I think we've all been in this stage. When you are hungry, you feel the need for food, right? You feel the need to eat something. So that stage where you're feeling the hunger and you feel that you need food is this stage, the need recognition. So this is the time when a consumer recognizes a problem or need. It is the time when a consumer recognizes a problem or need. So, as a marketer, you always have to know at which stage the consumer is, so you can be able to influence the decision that they're going to make. For example, you feel hunger, that is a need, and you want a particular type of food. So that's the need recognition stage. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? It doesn't. Okay. Did you have lunch? I'm asking Takuti. You said it doesn't make sense.
No, it makes sense.
Okay. Anyone who didn't understand? No, I didn't understand. Okay, so in the afternoon, I was asking him that did you have lunch? Yes, what made you have lunch? Hunger. So that is a need. So you made a decision to buy food because you're hungry. So at that stage where you were making the decision to buy food, that's the need recognition stage. You notice a problem that you're having at that moment. So you want to buy something. Or you may notice that it's the rainy season, and I usually get wet every time I am coming from school to home. So you've noticed what you need at that moment. You need an umbrella. Yes. So that's the need recognition stage. Any questions? No? Okay, so after this stage comes the information search stage. Information search. the information search stage. So we are going to give the same example of food, hunger and food. So you're hungry, now you are not sure what you want to eat. Let's say you are in a new environment, so you don't know where to go to buy food, you don't know how much it's going to cost, so you're going to start searching for information. And sometimes you can use personal sources for the information, like your friends and family, or you can use external forces like the internet. So you can ask your friends who have been to that area where they buy food and how much it costs. Or you can just search on the internet, restaurants around you. You're going to get that information. So on this information search stage is the time when a consumer is searching for information about products or services that are going to satisfy their need. Does that make sense? It is the time when a consumer is searching for information about products or services that are going to satisfy their needs and wants. So consumers can have several types of sources. The first source is personal source. Personal source, and they can also have commercial sources. So personal source includes friends and family, those individuals who are close to you. And the source can also be a commercial source. For example, you've heard an advert about a particular product or service. That's a commercial source, and the source can also be public source, a public source. For example, the internet, a public source. An example is the internet. And lastly, a source can be experiential source. So that's a source or based on something you've tried. For example, the soap that we use. We've tried different brands, and we get to the point where we choose one particular source one particular soap that we're going to use. So you choose this brand based on how it has changed your skin or how you feel when you use that soap. So it's based on experience. So those are the types of sources where consumers can get information. Experiential. Experience. So it's based on experience. So at this point on the information source, as a marketer, you have to convince a consumer that your brand is better than another brand. You're going to give them the advantages of your brand and what it can do for them to satisfy their need. So this is the point where you're searching for information. Does that make sense, guys? And the third stage is evaluation of alternatives. Evaluation of alternatives. So at this point, you're now looking at, you've searched for information, you've found several items that you like, and now you're comparing one item to the other. So basically, you're trying to choose between 2 or 3 items that you have to buy. You want to buy a shoe, you've found the shoe that you want, and you've also found another. All of them are being sold by different sellers, and now you have to choose which one you're going to buy. So that's evaluation of alternatives. You're choosing between the information that you found and which one is going to work for you. So when individuals are choosing the products or services that they're going to purchase, they also go for convenience and price. So usually you can have 2 sellers selling the same item, but one is cheaper and the one may choose to deliver. So you can choose the one who's cheaper and the one who's going to deliver over the one you have to go to the shop. Does that make sense? Or an evaluation of alternatives, does it make sense? Repeat. Okay, so evaluation of alternatives, it means that a consumer is choosing between 2 or 3 alternatives. So you want to buy a particular product, you have found it on the internet, or your friends have told you where to buy it. You are going to choose where you want to buy. So you choose the one which is convenient for you. It can be based on price and other factors which work best for you. So you're choosing between, for example, a phone, you're choosing between a Tecno and an iPhone. You have 2 alternatives, you're looking for a cheap phone and you have to choose between a Tecno and an iPhone. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions? And the other stage, after you have evaluated your alternatives, you have to make the purchase decision. You have to make the purchase decision. So on this purchase decision, now it is the point where you buy. When you choose to buy things from ShopRite over Sana or Chipigu, the moment you are paying the money to get that item, that's the purchase decision. You have now made the choice that this is the item that I'm going to buy. So you pay money in exchange for that product or service. Does that make sense? On the purchase decision? Okay, so you want a smartphone. You're moving from a monster, you want a smartphone. So you're looking at the prices of the phones. And also you're looking at the phone which is going to work best for you. So you have found an Itel and you have found a Samsung and you have found a Tecno. You look at the prices and you look at your budget, you see that a Tecno and an Itel falls within your budget. Now you are evaluating your alternative, which is an Itel and a Tecno. You're choosing which one is best. So you might find that the Tecno maybe is better than Itel. Now you are making a decision to buy the Tecno. That's the purchase decision. You are now paying for what you have chosen. Does that make sense? No?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's the purchase decision. We all make these decisions at some point. When you want to buy some things, you are involved in information search. You have to choose between 2 items, and then you have to buy that item. We all do this every time we want to buy something. So that's the purchase decision. So this purchase decision sometimes may be influenced by opinions of others. It can change at some point. Before you buy something, you can change your purchase decision because of opinions of others. For example, you want to buy the Technophone and someone tells you that I also bought a Techno at some point, it just stopped working just like that. Or you go to the shop and you find that the price has changed. So you have to change the decision. So this is basically about the purchase decision. You have to buy something at some point. You're just making a decision of what to buy. Does that make sense? And the last stage of the buyer process decision is post-purchase behavior. Post-purchase behavior. Post-purchase behavior. So this stage is the stage that comes in after you have bought your product and you have used it. So let's say you have acne and you have bought black soap from a vendor in town because someone told you that black soap works to remove dark spots and acne. And when you have bought this black soap, you are now using it to see if it's going to remove your acne. And when you find that your acne is not going, you have to make a decision whether to buy that same product or not. So this is the decision that consumers or customers make after they have bought a product. So on the post-purchase behavior, usually customers make these choices based on satisfaction. If you are satisfied with the product, this stage is where individuals choose whether to go back to buy a product or not. If you are happy with the product, you're going to go back to buy that product. If you're not happy, you're going to change and try something new. So sometimes this post-purchase behavior cannot be dependent on the satisfaction itself because sometimes you buy products based on boredom, where we are bored with using the same product over and over again. So we want to try something new. For example, perfume. You have this particular perfume that you buy and you are tired of it. You want to try out something new. So that's the post-purchase behavior. It's either you can go back to buy the same product or you choose to buy another product. Does that make sense? So in summary, the buyer decision process, it involves 5 steps. So first of all, you have to recognize a need that you have. And after you have noticed the need that you have, you start searching for information for a product or service that's going to satisfy that need. So when you have searched for that information, if you have several choices, you have to evaluate which one you're going to use to satisfy that need. When you choose what you want, you will buy, and if you're satisfied with it, you can buy again, or you can choose another brand. That's the buyer decision process. In summary, that is. Any questions?
Post-purchase. You explained that it's between you're tired of another product and you're drinking
Yes, that's correct. That's why I said sometimes it's not dependent on satisfaction. You may be satisfied with the product, but you want to change. you're bored with using the same product over and over again. Any other question? So that is the buy. Can someone, have you guys understood? Come on. You've understood? Okay. Can someone explain the buy decision process? Anyone? No one. I've seen you. Yeah, Linda.
Well, the buy decision process, first of all, you start with the mission. You first of all look at what you want. Then the second is you search for information where you can get that product. And the third, you evaluate, which means that the consumer choose. This means that the consumer is choosing the simple or alternatives. Then the fourth is where it is the point where you buy the product you are interested in. And lastly, it's a point where you buy that thing you are interested in, or if you are not interested in, you can buy another plan.
Okay, no one else? No one.
The buy decision process has 5 steps, which this is the need recognition, which this is the part whereby you want something, you want or you need something. Then goes to step, which is information search, where you realize that you have something in mind, and you are looking for more information about it, it's going to find it. And then evolution of alternatives. This is where maybe you find the thing that you're looking for, but then maybe you find 2 different types, and from 2 different people. So that's where you get to decide which one you want. Then the purchase decision. This is where for those products that you found, now deciding to put your budget. Is in which one suits best with the money that you have. Then after a purchase, it goes to post-purchase behavior, where you now use the product, and now you have to decide whether the product helped or didn't. You have to decide whether in case you start buying it again or not.
What did you call that stage?
Sorry?
That's last stage.
Post-purchase behavior.
Cost?
Post-purchase.
It's cost. Okay, so we are going to look at types of buying decision behavior. So these types of buying decision behavior are dependent on how much a consumer is involved in the buying process. They are dependent on how much the consumer is involved in the buying decision process. So there are 4 types of buying decision behaviors. There are 4 types of buying decision behaviors. The first is the complex buying behavior. Complex, yes, complex buying behavior. So in this complex buying behavior, consumers are highly involved in the purchase of a product, and they differentiate them among other brands. For the complex buying behavior, the consumer is highly involved in the buying decision, and they differentiate brand to brand. So you have different options, so you're differentiating those options, and you're highly involved. So this complex buying behavior is usually common for expensive and risky items.
May you repeat every different?
They differentiate one brand from another. It's like you're differentiating brands to another brand. So it is usually common for expensive products and also risky products. So this type of behavior is also common for those products that are not usually purchased. So what happens in the complex buying behavior is a consumer is going to go through a learning process, and they have to know more about the product before they buy. They go through a learning process. So they have to know more about the product before they buy. You know how we behave when we are buying expensive products. We have to check what are the benefits of this product. Is it worth paying all this? That's the complex buying behavior. So, for example, you want to buy makeup, and you have to choose the expensive ones. You still have to check if it's worth the risk. Or you want to buy a car. You go through a process of checking which car is best for me. So that's the complex buying behavior. It is usually common in expensive items. So the second type is the dissonance reducing buying behavior. Dissonance. Reducing buying behavior. So this one is similar to the complex buying behavior. So it is common for expensive items, and the consumers are highly involved in the buying process. So the reason why it's different from the complex buying behavior is because consumers respond to a good price or buying convenience. Consumers respond to a good price or buying convenience. So you compare it between one brand and another, and you see which one is cheaper, but for the expensive items. They respond to a good price and purchase convenience. For example, you want to buy a fridge. So there are two stores, one is cheaper and they deliver. You will choose the cheaper one where they will also deliver. Basically, it's the same product, but you are now choosing what works best for you. You're also having the price of the product in mind. Huh? The dissonance reducing. The difference with the complex? Okay, I say that for this one, consumers respond to price. For the first one, they don't actually look at the price, they just look at, they go more into finding the details of the product to know more about it. And the third type is the habitual buying behavior. Habitual buying behavior. This one is common for things that we usually buy without thinking about it. You don't actually look at the price or something, you just buy. For example, when we are buying salt, you just buy because you're used to buying salt. So for this type of habitual buying behavior, consumers are less involved. It means they don't go around searching for information. They just go to the store and choose what they want to buy. So this habitual buying behavior is common for low-cost products. It is common for low-cost products. So consumers do not search for information about products, they just purchase. Basically, you buy as something that's habitual, you usually do it. I think that we all have some things that we just go to the store and take. We don't have to search for information about it. So that's the habitual buying behavior. And lastly, there is the variety seeking. Variety seeking buying behavior. So for this one, it is also common for things of an affordable cost. Things that are affordable. It is common for things like that. So what happens is you buy not based on dissatisfaction, but you buy because you want to try out different things. So you're buying because you want to try out this variety and how it's different from another. Like biscuits. Today you can choose to buy these biscuits and tomorrow you buy another. Not because you didn't like the previous ones, but because you also want to try this one. Does that make sense? Or you choose other flavors over another. So those are the 4 types of buying decision behavior. Any questions? Okay. So